What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr War Games, and today the story continues. We are bringing you the next archetype in what is possibly the Dogmatika lore story, and you'll see that as we go through the cards art a little bit more, and that is the THERIONS. Now, I have not read any of these cards yet, I have not looked through any of these cards yet. All I have seen is the artwork that connects it with the Spriggans, and of course the Tri-Brigades as well, hoping that they are part of the Dogmatika lore. With all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more upcoming content. We start off with one of their spells called Perpetual Engine Yugioh System. Send one THERIONS card from your deck to the graveyard, so nice again in Archetype Foolish Burial. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one THERIONS card in your graveyard and add this card or that card to your hand. And if you do, place the other on the bottom of the deck. You can only use one engine per turn, or one effect per turn, and only once that turn. So you're either getting the graveyard recycle or you're getting the Foolish Burial, which is kind of cool. As we continue on here, we are going into THERIONS Bull Ein. So it is a warrior. They are all different types, which is really kind of cool, but they are all high level. So I'm hoping they're going to have a mechanic that lets you spin them out quite quickly. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Target one THERION monster or warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon this card from the hand. And if you do, equip that target to this card. You can target one THERIONS card you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. A THERIONS monster equipped with this card gains 700 attack and the preceding effect. That's weirdly worded, but okay. Carrying on, we've got THERIONS Charge. Send one THERION card or one Perpetual Engine Yugioh System from your hand or face-up spell and trap zone to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. You can only activate one THERIONS Charge per turn, so is what it is. That's kind of cool. So there you go, that's the first kind of spring gun involvement. So that's one of the spring guns right there, and it seems to be battling the THERIONS, so this will be interesting. We've then got THERIONS Cross. Again, another one. Look at that. When your opponent activates... Oh, massive shout out as well to Alan Mack for obviously the English translations of these. They are so clean and sized perfectionly. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a THERIONS monster, activate one of these effects. Or if you have Perpetual Engine Yugioh System in your graveyard, you can activate both in sequence. Negate that effect and then banish that monster. Only activate one THERIONS Cross per turn. It's cool, but it's not quite a counter trap. Just saying. THERIONS Yugioh. Psychic, you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target one THERIONS monster or psychic monster in your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. If you do, equip that target to this card. While you control an equipped card, THERIONS monster you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. A THERIONS monster equipped with this card gains 700 attack and the preceding effect. Interesting. THERIONS King Regulus. So this looks like the boss monster. This looks like the main guy. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target one THERIONS monster or machine monster in your graveyard, special summon this card from the hand, and if you do, equip that target to this card. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send one THERIONS monster from your hand or field to the graveyard to negate that effect. There you go. A THERIONS monster equipped with this card gains 700 and the preceding effect. THERIONS Leaper Fam. It's a THERIONS Leaper Fam. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Target a THERION monster or Aqua in your graveyard, special summon this card from hand, and if you do, equip this card to that target. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one THERIONS monster card in your spell and trap zone, and one card your opponent controls. That's pretty cool. Return them to the hand. A THERIONS monster with this card as equipped to it gains 700 and the preceding effect. And then I believe this is the penultimate card. I believe there are 2 more. You can only use each of the following effects. So this one is THERIONS Lily Borea. Now, if you actually look at the artwork, some of the artworks I believe are reminiscences of old cards. I don't have them on there, but on the Zodiac Facebook, there's someone that's put them side by side, which is pretty cool. Only use each effect once per turn. Target a THERIONS monster or plant monster in your graveyard. Special summon this card from hand and equip that card to it. The second effect is you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add a THERION spell or trap from your deck. That's cool. And then this is when this is equipped to a monster, it gains 700 attack and preceding effect. THERION's Ring, the Colosseum Saucer. This is cool. So there you go. You got like Kit there, and then you got the Spriggan there as well. When this card is activated, you get to add a THERION monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle, you can send a THERION card or one Perpetual Engine Yugioh system from your deck to your graveyard instead. And then once per turn, when a monster or monsters is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you target a THERION monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. That's really cool. That's actually really nuts. There's a lot of resource searching, resource management. It's great. And then THERION's Stand Up. Target one THERION monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Then you can equip one THERION monster from your hand or graveyard to it. During the main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard, then target one THERION monster you control and one in your graveyard. Equip the target in the graveyard to the target you control. You can only activate one THERION stand-up per effect per turn and only once that turn. So, okay. That's all 10 cards we know from the THERIONs. What do I think? Well, I think it's actually an interesting archetype. I do believe that it relies way too heavily on the graveyard. Like, it relies so heavily on putting THERIONs into the graveyard or putting machines, and you're playing so many different types. Like, to utilize all of these monsters, you need to be playing machines, psychics. I mean, I know you can target a THERION monster in the graveyard, but you'd probably play like a very small engine. I can't imagine you playing plants or aquas. You could probably play a machine engine, a psychic engine, and a warrior engine. To have them in the graveyard to make these more utilized and get them out quicker and easier. They are massive beat sticks, which is pretty cool. They kind of remind me of Mech Knights in the sense that you just special summon them to the board, but you kind of want stuff that, whereas the Mech Knights need columns, these kind of need graveyard setups. So the fact that it doesn't conduct its normal summon is great. The fact that it's different attributes, yay, Alistair. But I think what this will actually get most benefit from is an engine that can utilize the normal summon that can give you different styles of monsters. So what I mean by that is playing like a rank 3 engine, considering like a rank 3 engine when done correctly. So let's take Phantom Knights, for example. If you were to normal summon Scales, there we go, I'll get there eventually. Normal summon Scales, you've got a warrior. You've got your warrior engine set up, and that warrior engine straight away, it can lead you through different attributes and different types, which I think could be really, really cool. So I would probably be aiming to utilize the psychics, the machines, and the warriors a little bit more so. Obviously, you kind of want to be aiming for the machine a bit more than not, because it's just a free beta, which is absolutely mad, and then it also lets you negate. So that's pretty cool. It does say when your opponent activates a card or effect. So it is in theory an Omni negate, and it doesn't like target it or anything like that. It just negates the effect. So I think this guy, the Regulus, is going to be amazing. And I think I would personally, considering that it can send itself, I would say that this could be utilized in any machine deck. I think the only issue is getting the machines to the graveyard. But just imagine, for example, like a Cyber Dragon deck. Before you lock yourself into lights, you can get like an Infinity, and then like possibly a DPE. But then you can also summon this guy down as well, because you're going to have a crud ton of machines in the grave, and you've just set your board up with an additional Omni negate, which I think is really, really cool. So this guy for sure is the standout for me, and I think he's going to get utilized massively. I'm glad that he's a machine, so he can't be as abused in everything. But I do feel that it gives machines a nice little bump, because in theory, if you were to play this in any just generic machine deck, it works. So stuff like Gizmex that have missed an Omni negate, like if you're worried about Nibiru in a machine deck, you now no longer need to. You just go, okay, cool, THERIONS goes down, King comes down, and then it can send itself. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, let me know what you think of the THERIONs in the comments below. If you want to see an early profile preview, then you've got to make sure you get this video up to at least 100 likes. If you do that, then we will print these proxies off and we'll do a preview profile for you and provide you with the proxies as well. But as absolutely always, guys, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.
You